Whether uniting as a team or going solo against the world, these players compete in the highest level of professional gaming. They are victors of the mind game, players that possess the X factor when performing in front of thousands. Their names are remembered in the Pro Gaming Hall of Fame. These are the icons of esports. A danger on the battlefield and a terror not to be trifled with. Jonathan Gunnarsson, better known to the heroes of the Storm community as Wubby, is the solo laner that knows no bounds. Hailing from Sweden, this 26-year-old MOBA megastar was one out of the many faces from the European Heroes of the Storm global championship scene. As the Blizzard Entertainment title grew, so did Wubby. While finding his way in the game's professional scene, Wubby found victories in ESL and Zotac weeklies, as well as a first-place finish at Heroes Battle Arena at the end of 2015. Unfortunately, while hailing under the banner of Fnatic, his team failed to qualify out of the group stage at the 2015 HOTS World Championship European qualifiers. However, it was the following year that saw Jonathan's career in the Blizzard Multiverse MOBA really take off.
Greyman is down, it's a 5 versus 3 now, and Dignitas is going for the core. They're trying to end the game, they want to crown themselves the champion here at the regional finals.
Live from his home country in Sweden, Wubby and the newly formed Team Dignitas squad made waves as the tournament favourites when they defeated German team My Insanity in 3 heart-pounding games. His performances on Stitches, Zeratul and ETC were outstanding and kicked things into motion for the rest of the 2016 season. Come April, Wubby and teammates Snitch, Bakery, Monet and JPL qualified to the Leicester Major, another grand Heroes of the Storm tournament that offered the hopefuls a chance at the HOTS Summer Finals and a royal take in a $100,000 prize pool. In a Katowice Grand Finals rematch, Team Dignitas smashed My Insanity once more, proving to the rest of the world that Europe could dominate the highest tier of Heroes of the Storm esports.
There's 32% left. It looks like they're going to take it here. Team Dignitas winning 3-0 as the core falls, and they take the championship here in Europe once again.
Just in time for the DreamHack All-Stars Major in Tours, France, Wubby put on his Fnatic jersey and rejoined the team for the remainder of the 2016 season. Leading the way for Group B, the crowd knew that Fnatic could take it all in the event's playoff bracket. Unfortunately, Wubby and teammates Schwimpy, Breeze, Quacknix and Smexy felt the wrath of the returning My Insanity squad and bit the dust 3-0 in the grand finals. The same again would happen in Valencia that following July, only this time it was Wubby's old crew Team Dignitas that would defeat Fnatic in a stunning Game 5 tiebreaker. Although Wubby and his crew didn't claim a DreamHack title, their results across tournaments were consistent. Their knowledge of the game and professional approach saw them qualify to the 2016 Heroes of the Storm Global Championship, live from BlizzCon in Anaheim. Leading the way for Europe alongside Team Dignitas, Fnatic rose out of the first group stage as leaders, only ever dropping a single game to Taiwan's Please Buff Arthas. Down but definitely not out, Wubby and his team placed second in the group stage number 2. Their 2 series wins were enough to send them to the BlizzCon semi-finals to face off against South Korea's MVP Black. The first 2 maps went the way of Fnatic. After recovering from a Game 3 loss against MVP Black, Wubby and his team prevailed. The South Korean team went down to a 19-minute game on Brax's Hold, while the Europeans advanced to the Global Championship Grand Finals for a shot at the BlizzCon crown.
Fnatic has done the unexpected and taken down MVP Black. It is history in the making.
Fnatic is so close, Footstep comes back, 30% of the core, but it is over, it is over.
Europe was in the grand finals, and the crowd certainly got behind them. Fnatic's final challenge at Anaheim was Ballistics, the #1 seed from the gaming region of South Korea. The first game of the finals saw the South Koreans tear through Wubby and his team on the tomb of the Spider Queen, ending the conflict with 11 eliminations and 3 whole team levels ahead of their opposition. Sky Temple was no different. The increased siege damage from the map's objectives was more than enough to overthrow Fnatic at the 13-minute mark and continue the South Koreans' lead on the BlizzCon main stage. Wubby and his squad came alive in Game 3's Warhead Junction. A massive 7 eliminations ahead of Ballistics, the Europeans turned heads as they claimed the battlefield just past the 23-minute mark. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Team fights and map control meant everything in Game 4's Towers of Doom. With a massive 26-point lead on their core, the South Koreans wiped 3 Fnatic players off the map and became BlizzCon champions in front of an animated audience.
A hooks up swipe! This is gonna be it! Fnatic down! They have lost Falstad! They have lost Sergeant Hammer! ETC's out! Wubby again trying to stop it, but he won't be able to! Ballistics has done what Team DK could not! They will be your BlizzCon champions!
Ballistics became BlizzCon champions that day in Anaheim. But Wubby was part of the European fighting force that challenged them in the competition's final hour. 2017 was a new year for Wubby and a new year for Heroes of the Storm Esports. The Western Clash, a culmination of the greatest HOTS teams in the world, was set to showcase at the Spodek Arena in Katowice, Poland. A grand event to kick off the new season of the HGC at the beginning of March. Fnatic alongside Team Dignitas were there to represent Europe, and after smashing their way from the competition's upper bracket, the two would meet in a do-or-die best-of-5 finals to see who were the leaders in the highest tier of Heroes of the Storm. Wubby and his team were defeated in the first 2 games of the Western Clash Grand Finals, but a trip to the Infernal Shrines saw Fnatic bounce back and take the 15.5-minute game with 2 team levels above their opposition. Swords clashed on Sky Temple as Wubby went for a global presence with his iconic Dahaka. The lengthy 20-minute game saw Fnatic cement their comeback. It was even footing going into the final game of the series. The deadly war zone of Dragonshire saw Wubby take Tyrael into the fray. Fnatic fell dismally behind in eliminations, team experience and Dragon Knights all game long. Whether it was a complicated hero draft or a lack of communication, Fnatic were steamrolled by Dignitas and ultimately lost the Western Clash.
Now Venus on the core. He's hammering away with the Dragon Knight. Elias going into bakery as well. They're trying to drop it. This 40, could be 40% of the core. Venus there. It comes Falstad. They do it. They take it. They win it. Dignitas.
Wubby and the rest of Fnatic had the grand finals curse of always coming second at a major HGC event. This curse, however, was finally broken that following June at the Heroes of the Storm mid-season brawl, a $250,000 event in the heart of Jönköping, Sweden, Wubby's home country. Although this major event was designed to pit countries and regions against each other, the rivalry on the main stage was far from that. In a Europe versus Europe showdown, Dignitas and Fnatic would continue their story in the event's winners' finals, where Wubby and his team edged through to take a clutch 15-minute win on Sky Temple. A final position was once more earned by Fnatic, but the clash between the 2 European greats was not over yet. As fate would have it, Dignitas struck back and secured its grand final position through the losers' side finals. Their winning momentum would carry them through the first 2 games of the series. Fnatic were under attack and would have to strategize going into Game 3's Infernal Shrines. After a treacherous final game at the Sky Temple, Wubby and the Fnatic squad finally claimed a Heroes of the Storm Global Championship trophy. wiping the Dignitas team completely off the map for a 17-minute win.
Fnatic is going to be your mid-season Brawl champions!
We see them moving in, they're going for the core, they're trying to take it, and at this point there's no hope for Team Dignitas. This has to be game. Fnatic has finally done it. They win the tournament, they take it.
The Swedish crowd erupted as Fnatic claimed the mid-season Brawl title. Wubby, Schwimpy, Smexy, Breeze and Quacknix were on top of the world. 2 months later, and a quick stop in Kyiv saw the 5 Swedes dominate in the Phase 2 Western Clash.
70% of the
They went completely undefeated in the playoffs upper bracket, dismantling 3 region favourites on their way to a 4-0 whitewash grand final. 2017 was truly the year of Fnatic. Wubby and his crew had completed their journey to another BlizzCon finals. The mightiest teams in the world were in attendance, and Fnatic dismantled them all on its way to grand finals qualification.
They're going for it. They're dropping them one after another. This is down. Wubby in trouble against Pump. The Pump does block. They go for the core. Berlin's
15,
about to lose. Fnatic takes the game.
Fnatic found revenge against Ballistics in the semi-finals, but this time around, they were not the South Koreans to be feared in the end-of-season competition. MVP Black were yet to drop a match leading into the grand finals. But that all changed when Cursed Hollow was snatched from underneath them. It was clear that MVP Black underestimated the might of the Fnatic squad. The South Koreans adjusted and completely reformed their strategies in the next 3 games. Reverse swept, Fnatic fell to the might of MVP Black, as South Korea claimed another BlizzCon trophy. After the nerves from BlizzCon subsided, Wubby was traded back to Team Dignitas for the 2018 season, taking up arms with teammates Snitch, Zalia, Polk and JPL. 2018 was a strong year for Wubby, but a sad one for the global competition. Before the HGC's cancellation at the end of the year, Wubby and his new team claimed first-place victories in both phases of the Western Clash, European Leagues, and second-place finishes at the mid-season Brawl and the very last BlizzCon Heroes of the Storm Global Championship Finals. Today, Wubby plays in X-Cup, Meta Madness and Master Clash Championship Online Series, the now highest tier of competition for the Blizzard Multiverse MOBA. He continues to dominate the offlane in every game he plays. If the HGC should ever make a return, the fans know that players like Wubby, who are dedicated to the game, will be ready for it.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing eSport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.